Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I thought I would talk to you about nutrition myths in rabbits and guinea pigs. There are going to be differences between the two animals, but in general a lot of the things overlap with each other, so just to make it easier I would put it into one video combining both rabbits and guinea pigs. So for my nutrition myth number one, I'm going to be talking about cabbage and other cruciferous vegetables. There is so much misconception out there about whether or not guinea pigs or rabbits can eat cabbages and broccoli and cauliflower and anything from that family. So most of the information online will tell you not to feed this, it can cause gas and bloating. So if you were to just feed them a more natural diet without any pellets or anything, there wouldn't really be an issue providing you introduce the cruciferous vegetables slowly. But where the problems tend to arise is when you feed pellets along with the cabbages, and this affects how well the gassy vegetables are digested, because if they're eating pellets, that's going to take longer to metabolize, and this means that it's going to take longer for the gassy vegetables to get through their systems, which can in turn lead to bloating, which is why a lot of owners have problem with this type of feeding. But honestly, it's so high in vitamin C, full of nutrients. Some of the most nutrient-rich vegetables come from this family, so definitely don't be afraid of it, but obviously feed it with caution and introduce it slowly because some don't tolerate it as well as others. Myth number two is that you should avoid feeding foods really high in calcium. You probably all know that calcium is a super important nutrient, not only for their teeth but also for their bones to keep them healthy. So it is an important thing, and basically the theory is if they eat too much calcium rich foods, whether that be dry food or vegetables, that it can lead to real problems with their kidneys and bladder, and can lead to stones and stuff like that. So yes, although this is true with dried foods such as pellets, because they can be quite rich in calcium, they don't have the water content to go with it. And also if you live in an area with hard water, then the water actually has high amounts of calcium in it. If you are feeding lots of calcium rich vegetables such as broccoli and cabbages, stuff like that, then it's not an issue because it's really high in water content. So obviously dried food like dried herbs and stuff, people still get really concerned about this, but a lot of dried herbs have a similar calcium content to what's in the hay, so it's really nothing to get too obsessive about, and calcium is at the end of the day a really important nutrient, so don't try and avoid it. So myth number three is that seeds are bad for rabbits and guinea pigs. Now, I feel like this is something which is going to take a lot more persuasion. And to be honest, the majority of rabbit and guinea pig owners are just against the feeding of seeds because they see them as fatty ingredients, something which should never be fed or only as a very, very rare treat. And basically, seeds are completely fine to feed to your rabbits and guinea pigs. In fact, they have various bioactive substances, they have loads of nutrients and goodness in them, they can be really great for keeping their skin in a good condition, they have so many fatty acids which is going to contribute to healthy skin and coat. And yes, it is sensible to ration feed them. For instance, when rabbits are in the molting phase, they are prone to blockages, and certain seeds like sunflower seeds, flax seeds, etc. are really good for helping to prevent blockages. There's also different seeds like fennel seed, cumin seed, coriander seed. These are all amazing for their digestion and can even help preventing things like bloat and gas buildup. So as long as you feed them correctly and ration feed them, then they can provide many benefits for their overall health, and you know, I don't think it's something we should be afraid of feeding. and especially for underweight animals it's really good for balancing the weight out, and it's also really great for the cold season if they just need that little extra supplement to keep them going through the winter. And I sell a lot of seed blends on my shop, and I've honestly had so much positive feedback from people saying that it's really helped with their skin and really helped with adding shine to their coat, helped with their joints. So myth number 4 is that you should avoid feeding anything from nature, going out and collecting plants because of the risk of poisoning your animals. Now there are so many plants which are really easy to identify. There are the odd few which can be confused for more toxic plants, but honestly the amazing benefits which come with feeding your animals a natural diet and collecting stuff from nature, you shouldn't fear it as much as a lot of people do. And I know it can be difficult in the beginning when you're learning what new species are, but just start with simple things like dandelions, grass, plantain, things that are easy to identify. And honestly, you should do whatever you can to just get out into nature and try and find different plants. It's just really great for your animals' health, for your rabbits and guinea pigs especially, because it's so close to what they're eating in nature, and it's amazing to be able to provide this natural diet for them. So don't fear it. I know it can be quite tricky when you're just starting out because it's quite overwhelming, but you shouldn't fear it and you shouldn't avoid it just because there are a few toxic plants out there. But, you know, take a guide with you, do some digging on the internet, see what you can find. So my 5th and final nutrition myth for today is that hay should always be the staple of the diet. This is so contrary to what a lot of people believe in, and I understand if you're just sat there thinking, that's false, you know, she's just talking a load of rubbish. I understand why you would think that. The problem is, hay is not a replacement for forage plants and grasses. Think about how their digestion works and what they're eating in nature. Yes, it still has the fibre content, it still has the abrasive, fibrous, you know, parts to it. It's still really great for their teeth and everything, but it's missing so much nutrition from it because basically when hay is dried, it loses up to 50% of the nutrients, and each month it's going to lose even more of that. So by the time you get it, you know, it could literally have very little nutrition in it. Great basis for the diet would be grasses and forage plants, and there is nothing that will, you know, be better than that for them. That is just their natural diet, and we should really try and replicate this as much as we can at home. People who live in cities and stuff though, it's not really possible and it is tricky. But I recommend always having hay available to your animals, and it is an important diet component. You know, it's great for their teeth, it's great for keeping things moving. However, it is much lower in nutrition than a lot of people think. If you compare it to like fresh grasses, you know, it's nothing compared to that really. So a great substitute for this is to provide lots of leafy greens and fresh vegetables, because they have a lot of the nutrients which they won't be getting from the hay. So obviously I'm not saying don't feed hay. Hay is a very, very important diet component, and you should always have it available to your animals, to your rabbits and guinea pigs. So I really do believe that. They graze throughout the day and have countless small meals a day, so it is important that they always have something to keep their teeth worn down, to keep their digestion moving and stuff like that. But in terms of getting the nutrients that they need, feeding fresh vegetables is going to be a good substitute if you can't get out and forage and get, you know, them grazing on the grass and stuff like that, because really that's going to be one of the healthiest things they can be eating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will link below my website so you can look into this further. I know it can be very confusing and conflicting. I've made many diet videos in the past, and some of the things I do disagree with, but I feel like I'm evolving and gaining more knowledge, so hopefully this is a bit more up-to-date version. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon. Bye!